So the first video in this series was a general overview of our house renovation, but this time I want to go into a bit more detail and explain the process that we went through to renovate the 4 bathrooms. The house was over 20 years old when we bought it, so as you can imagine the bathrooms were extremely tired. So it's time to hack everything out and just start with a blank canvas. So I'll take you through our renovation process, and at the end of the video I'll summarize the rough costs. Once we began the planning process, we decided the starting point needed to be the tile selection, as that would form the backdrop for everything else to follow. The only guide we really set ourselves in terms of tiles was that we wanted all bathrooms to be from the same range for design continuity, but we felt that we could vary the shade selections. For example, our son wanted a more masculine grey look, whereas my daughter wanted something bright and airy. For the master, we wanted something more neutral. Without a designer to guide us, we just set off to visit all the tile shops across town just to get some inspiration and see what was available. Now, bear in mind, we hadn't expected to spend much money on the bathrooms in our original budgets, so we were trying to be fairly strict with ourselves and only look at tiles in the budget end of the market. But thankfully these days there's some great design choices at the budget end of the market, so we weren't too disappointed. I was keen to achieve a clean European aesthetic, so in the end we decided on a glazed porcelain tile, a range that had 3 or 4 different colorways, which would help in the variety we were looking for the different bathrooms, but it also had a very nice natural stone matte finish, which we could use for both the walls and the floor, which is a little bit unusual in this part of the world. Most people would go for different types of tiles for the wall and floor, but I thought that really added to the kind of classic European look. Practically, it would also help reduce wastage because we decided on using 600 by 600 tiles or 2 foot by 2 foot, just to give that larger tile look, but without going too large that would create too much wastage. So we purchased the tiles, and in the meantime the contractor set to with the demolition and waterproofing works. Now, unusually this house has false ceilings to every single bathroom, and in a further effort to try and manage costs, we were hoping to maintain the existing ceilings so we didn't need to spend money to replace, but as the team progressed with the hacking works, it was clear that that wasn't going to be the case. It was very difficult for them to remove all of the tiles which were floor to ceiling without doing substantial damage to the ceiling. So in the end we just decided we didn't have a choice. The old ceilings were going to have to go and we'd just replace with new. There was an upside to that as well. It did mean that we could replace the water heaters which were above the ceiling, which were pretty old but were still working. So what we decided to do was just change them with like for like. The same model was still available, which is the Rheem brand, I believe. So we just used that opportunity to swap those out too. So once the demolition, waterproofing and tiling works were underway, we turned our attention to sourcing all the fittings, such as toilets, sinks, vanities, and also needing to find a shower screen supplier. For the toilets, we settled on a model from American Standard Super Sleek range, which was a nice single piece unit that we felt looked great. Wasn't the cheapest, but also wasn't too expensive. Naturally, we picked the same model for each of the bathrooms. We visited so many bathroomware outlets, but you might be surprised to hear that in the end, we went with IKEA vanities for 3 of the bathrooms, and also IKEA shower sets for all of the showers, including the master. Now for the master bathroom, off-the-shelf vanity solutions just wouldn't work very well because the space is so much bigger. So I designed a custom solution and had our contractor fabricate and install it. For the shower screens, I wanted to use a clear tempered glass design with slim black frames, black handles, just to match the new black windows that we had. We gathered several quotes and eventually settled on a supplier who was very competitive and also, thankfully, did a fantastic job in the install. When it came to accessories, we just used IKEA for all the towel rails and the toilet roll holders. But the best bargain I found was 3 LED mirrors for the smaller bathroom vanities, purchased online for $50 each, which I was able to fit myself. So to finish off the bathroom makeovers, I repainted all the doors and frames white, and I removed all the hardware too and refinished them all by spraying them to black, which made them look brand new again. So as promised, I'll give you a quick rundown of what the cost actually came to. Most expensive, of course, was the master bathroom, which is really large at 140 square foot. Everything in, including the renovation, fixtures and fittings, was just over 20,000 Singapore dollars. The other 3 bathrooms are all of a similar size, of only around 50 square feet. So everything in, again, renovation, all fixtures and fittings, came to around 8,500 Singapore dollars each. So the overall time frame for the bathroom renovations took 6 weeks. But bear in mind, we were actually living in the house when all of this was going on, so we did it in phases. 2 bathrooms took 3 weeks, and then we moved to the other floor and did the other 2 bathrooms. So 6 weeks in total, but in reality, if we hadn't been living in, I'm pretty confident it could have been done in about 4 weeks because it would have been a bit more efficient for the builder. In my next video, I'll be detailing our kitchen renovation. So if you find these videos interesting and useful, do like and subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. Also, for context, check out the first video in this series where I give a general overview of the house renovation. So see you the next time.